China completes its full nuclear triad with new JL-1 ballistic missile. On September 3rd, Beijing unveiled something the world had never witnessed before, its entire nuclear triad. At the center was the JL-1, a new air-launched ballistic missile carried by the H-6N bomber. This historic debut means China can now deploy nuclear capabilities from land, sea, and air. In this video, we'll explore what was revealed, why it matters, and its global implications. China completes its full nuclear triad with new JL-1 ballistic missile, and this was the true centerpiece of the parade. For decades, analysts speculated whether Beijing would ever fully reveal all three legs of its nuclear forces. On September 3rd, that speculation ended. In one carefully choreographed display, China showed the world not only its land-based missiles and submarine-launched weapons, but also the long-rumored air-launched ballistic missile that had only been seen in grainy test photos until now. The JL-1, carried by the H-6N bomber, is more than just another missile. It represents the final piece of a strategic puzzle that elevates China into an exclusive club, nations with a fully functional nuclear triad. Analysts believe it is derived in part from the DF-21 medium-range ballistic missile, adapted for aerial launch. State media claims it could reach up to 8,000 kilometers, although experts argue that figure likely includes the range of the H-6 itself. Regardless of the exact number, the JL-1 dramatically extends China's ability to hold distant targets at risk. The H-6N bomber itself is an interesting story. While it may not have the stealth or futuristic design of America's B-2 Spirit or Russia's Tu-160, it compensates in other ways. China operates more than 270 H-6 bombers, making it the largest bomber fleet in the world. Their relatively low operating cost, combined with aerial refueling support from the new YY-20 tankers, means they can be deployed flexibly across East Asia and potentially beyond. In fact, Chinese bombers have previously trained with Russian bases, a reminder that their reach can extend much further when paired with international cooperation. What makes the JL-1 so transformative is how it changes the role of the H-6N. Traditionally, bombers have become less relevant as global air defense systems advanced, forcing them into the role of missile trucks rather than frontline penetrators. The JL-1 perfectly fits this modern doctrine. It allows bombers to launch strikes from standoff distances, far away from dense enemy defenses, while still maintaining the credibility of a nuclear deterrent. When China rolled out the JL-1 alongside its other nuclear systems, the choice of timing and presentation was no accident. Military parades are as much about signaling as they are about showcasing, and this display was a message aimed at multiple audiences. For the first time, Beijing was saying openly, "Our nuclear deterrent is now whole, visible, and credible." That single decision alters how both citizens and rivals interpret China's place in the global order. Internationally, the JL-1's debut closes a long-standing gap in China's nuclear forces. Land-based missiles and submarine-launched systems had already been known, but air-launched nuclear weapons complete the triad, guaranteeing survivability. The core message here is one of assured retaliation. Even if an adversary tried to knock out ground silos or hunt down submarines, China could still respond with an air-based strike. This redundancy is the essence of deterrence. It makes preemptive disarmament nearly impossible. Domestically, the symbolism was equally powerful. The JL-1 was revealed on the 80th anniversary of the victory over Japan in World War II, an event deeply tied to national pride. By linking the unveiling of modern nuclear forces to a historical moment of resilience, the leadership reinforced the idea that China's strength is both inherited and forward-looking. Citizens saw not only weapons, but a narrative of technological mastery and continuity with the past. What's particularly interesting is what wasn't shown. Systems like the DF-27, often associated with hypersonic technology, were deliberately absent. This omission shifts focus away from tactical or regional escalation and squarely onto strategic deterrence. In doing so, China crafted a cleaner message. This wasn't about battlefield dominance, but about joining the US and Russia at the highest level of nuclear parity. This selective reveal also hints at readiness for broader conversations. By bringing the JL-1 into public view, China moves away from secrecy and toward acknowledgement, a step that may ease future arms control discussions. It tells the world, we are here, we are capable, and we are prepared to be recognized as a full strategic peer. In short, the JL-1 wasn't just a missile on a bomber. It was a carefully chosen symbol of arrival. The completion of China's nuclear triad is not just a domestic achievement. It reshapes the global strategic landscape. Until recently, the United States and Russia were the only countries with fully mature nuclear triads. India has a developing one, but China's unveiling of the JL-1 confirms its status as a third major player in the global nuclear hierarchy. That shift will ripple across military planning, diplomacy, and regional security. For Washington, this development complicates deterrence. U.S. planners already noted that China's nuclear arsenal has doubled since 2020, now estimated at roughly 600 warheads, with projections of more than 1,000 by 2030. But warhead numbers tell only part of the story. Survivability is the real game changer, and the JL-1 enhances that survivability by creating a mobile, unpredictable launch option. Suddenly, China's arsenal is not just bigger, it's harder to neutralize. For regional allies like Japan, South Korea, and Australia, this changes the calculus too. The JL-1 allows China's H-6N bombers to patrol further from its coastline while still threatening long-range strikes. This standoff flexibility complicates defense systems, especially missile shields that were calibrated for known land-based launch sites. The air leg of the triad forces adversaries to spread their attention more thinly, increasing uncertainty. Globally, the JL-1's debut could push China closer to arms control negotiations. For years, Beijing argued that it didn't need to sit at the table with the US and Russia because its arsenal was much smaller. But with a full triad now visible and a stockpile expanding at unprecedented speed, pressure will mount. Whether China resists or accepts that pressure will influence the trajectory of nuclear diplomacy in the coming decades. The technology itself also matters. By adapting a ballistic missile for air launch, China has demonstrated agility in design and integration. It reflects a broader trend of blurring lines between conventional and nuclear systems, making it harder for adversaries to immediately know whether a missile is nuclear-armed. This ambiguity boosts deterrence, but also heightens risk if miscalculations occur during a crisis. Ultimately, the JL-1 is not an endpoint, it's a bridge. China's stealthy H-20 bomber, expected in the 2030s, will bring intercontinental reach and survivability closer to U.S. standards. Similarly, the JL-3 submarine-launched missile and future Type 096 submarines will expand naval deterrence. China's JL-1 debut wasn't just about unveiling new technology. It marked the moment the country officially stepped into the nuclear triad club. With land, sea, and air all now part of its strategic mix, the balance of global power has taken a new turn. What happens next will shape the future of international security. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on space exploration and scientific discoveries, and don't forget to leave a comment below. Also, you can visit our website, spaceinews.com. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.